The men of our generation are crippled by depression and anxiety. They wake up into cold, dark rooms and lie there for hours. They have no drive, no reason to get out of bed, to draw the blinds, to let the sun in and to start their day. They're worried about what they have to do, the job they have to work, the people they have to talk to. It's Monday and they're already waiting for the weekend. But the men of our tribe are different. We rise in the mornings and leap out of bed. We have purpose, a reason to exist. We do not fear the day ahead but welcome it with open arms, excited about a new day on the planet. Weekends don't exist anymore. Every day is the same. A relentless pursuit of our passions. Which one do you want to be, bro? If you can watch this video to the end with no distractions, not looking at the suggested videos or down to the comments, then I can teach you how to find your purpose. I can teach you the Japanese philosophy of Ikigai. You see, there are these places on Earth called blue zones. There are 5 of them. I think there's a couple in Europe, one in maybe California, and one in Japan. It's in Okinawa. And it's the most famous of them all. Okinawa, and I think it's a little island on Japan, right, has the highest life expectancy in the world and the highest rate of centenarians. That means for every however many people, there are more people over the age of 100 in Okinawa than anywhere else on the planet. I mean, these people have optimized their way of life for health and for longevity. In the UK, in Australia, in the US, you're expected to maybe live 70 or 80 years. There, the people expect to live to 100. And there are a few reasons when these people were polled as to why they think their life expectancy is so long, and a lot of them are the classic. They were diet, they were being with friends, they were daily exercise. But one of the big reasons, the one that every single person there listed, was Ikigai. It was that each of them had a purpose, each of them had a unique mission inside of their community. Ikigai for them basically translates to, well, it's like the reason you get up every single morning. It's the reason why they don't just lie in bed all day thinking about the shit they have to do. And the residents of this island work towards their Ikigai every single day until they die, right? I think in the West we have this whole concept of just doing a job and then retiring and that's it, you're done for the rest of your life. But a true Ikigai, finding your actual purpose, that stays with you forever. You can't retire from your purpose. There was a great example the book gave, and it was about the chief animator of Studio Ghibli. So I'm sure you've watched the films, I actually haven't. But yeah, they're really cool, at least the art is, I've seen the art in them. But this guy, right, he was totally driven towards animation and drawing. That was his one Ikigai in life. Apparently you'd go into the office and you'd kind of look around and then there'd be a guy just sat in the corner at a desk working away, and little would you know, but he was actually the leader of that company, the CEO. He spent every single day in that corner at his desk drawing. People would walk in, they'd come out of the elevator, they'd say hi, he'd kind of look up, nod at them and then get back down to work. That was his Ikigai, that was his one true passion. Anyway, after God knows how long he worked there, he reached 70, he reached 80. And it was time for him to retire. So he decided, he said to everyone, look, I'm going to retire, I'm going to quit this job, I'm done. And they threw him a big party, and everyone congratulated him, said, well done, you've done such amazing stuff, and they all went home. And then the next day they came back in and he was sat there at that exact same table in the corner drawing again, because he couldn't quit. When he woke up and had nothing to do the next day, his life was meaningless. Without his Ikigai, without his passion, there was no point in rising in the mornings. And so even though he'd retired, even though he'd stopped working at this place, he still had to come in and draw. And he said, do you know what? I can't quit. I'm going to pursue this Ikigai until I die. Because that is the thing. Once you find your true purpose, your Ikigai, it stays with you forever. Men are born to live in the trenches. There's no idea of completing your life's purpose and then retiring. When you find a true purpose, you do it forever. There's this idea the book talks about called Sunday neurosis, right? And it's this whole thing of, we in the West, we live our lives. We live our lives by the week, basically. From Monday to Friday, we do our thing. Saturday, we'll go out with our friends. And then Sunday, we'll wake up and we'll feel crazy. We'll feel bored. We'll get a bit like cabin fevery because we have nothing to do. And it said it in an interesting way. It basically said that on Sundays we are faced with our purposeless existences, and that makes us deadly bored. Like, have you ever had that feeling on Sunday where you're just like restless? You have nothing to do. It's because you're faced with your like meaningless existence. You need your Ikigai, your reason to get up every single day. And the way the book suggests this is by finding the action that puts you into something called flow state. Now, flow state is a pretty simple idea, but basically what it talks about is it's that one action that when you do it, the whole world around you seems to kind of disappear. Like, I'm sure you've had those moments. And you can get flow state in different things, right? So maybe you've had that moment playing a video game, for example. That might be a common one that everyone can relate to. where you'll start playing this game and you'll look at the clock and 3 hours will have gone by, right? That's just one example of flow state, but there'll be many of them throughout your life. The book describes it as this. I'm going to have to read the quote here. It says, "The state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience itself is so enjoyable that people will do it even at a great cost for the sheer sake of doing it." Like I say, there are probably many times in your life where you've experienced flow state, and you need to think back and try and remember when these times were. Jean-Paul Sartre, a French nihilist philosopher, said this: "We don't create the meaning in our lives, we discover it." And I think that's a really important quote to drive home with this whole search for Ikigai thing. Because the thing is you might not know your flow state yet. You don't necessarily know exactly what you want to do in life right now. And that's the important part of discovering your purpose, is discovering your flow state. And you need to try different things, right? So you need to put your feelers out there and give a shit ton of different things a go until one of them sticks. Because there will be that one thing that you go into flow with. You just need to find it. And the thing is anything can become monetizable through this flow state. If you enter flow state doing something, there is 100% a way you can turn it into your Ikigai, into your purpose. Like take reading, for example, right? Reading is an action that people often get into flow state doing, okay? And you'll think, oh yeah, but like how can you make reading into a job, right? But here's the thing, is if you have flow state in it, if you're passionate about it, if that's what you can do, then you have more drive than anyone else in your field at doing that thing. You could become a book reviewer. You could become a publisher. You could become an editor. You could become an author. Every single thing can be monetizable. Don't do something simply because you've been told to do it, right? So out there on like the fucking manosphere or whatever it's called, there are so many people right now telling you to go into drop shipping, telling you to go into fucking agency work, right? But is that really your passion in life, bro? Like, do you really find any passion from buying a fucking bunk bed on Alibaba and trying to sell it off to some poor old lady on eBay? Like, do you know what I mean? These things aren't your true passion in life. You need to find the thing that gives you flow state and then creatively turn it into a way that you can make it your Ikigai. The other thing the book suggests is that your purpose can't become something that's too easy. It can't become something you're too comfortable with, or it won't really bring you any meaning after a while. So it uses this example of, imagine you give a guy 2 books, right? One of them's a book on quantum physics, and he reads it, and after about the first 5 minutes, he's like, what the fuck is even going on here, right? So he puts the book aside because he doesn't understand a single word of it and he never touches it again. The other book you give him is, I don't know, it's a book that he read 3 years ago. It's a book he knows about already, and he starts reading it, and the same thing happens. He gets so bored of it because he knows exactly what's being said already. The point with Ikigai is you need to find something that has some sort of novelty to you. You need to find something on the edge of your comfort zone that you can pursue, because that is the only way it will remain novel. And then once you've found this flow state, this activity that you can do that puts you into flow, you need to find a way to turn it into an Ikigai. And there's a Venn diagram that I'm sure you've seen before. It has like 4 circles to it. And if they all meet in the middle, that's your Ikigai right there. And I'm gonna have it flashed up on the screen right now, but basically, what those things are is it needs to be something that you love, something that the world needs, something that you're good at, and something that you can be paid for. And here's the thing, right? You need to look at the actions that you decided put you into flow state and see which of them fulfill those criteria. And here's the thing, right? It's almost every single one will. If you think it won't, it's because you lack creativity in it. So let's go back to the... Fuck it, actually. Let's say someone who likes video games, right? Let's go through it. So that's something that you love, video games, that the world can be better for. You can use it to reduce people's stress. You can use it to educate. You can use it to, I don't know what, but you can use it as a form of art, okay? There are so many ways that the world could be truly benefited by video games. Something you can be paid for, of course. You can be paid for releasing, selling video games. And something that you're good at, well, I mean, maybe you're really good at a fucking video game, I don't know. But there you go, like even video games, that's something you can do. If you're truly passionate about those things, and I mean passion, right? I don't just mean, oh yeah, I play video games on the weekends with my mates because there's nothing else to do. But like, if you're passionate about that thing, then you can turn it into an Ikigai. You can turn it into a purpose and a career if you have the creativity to do so. And once you've found this Ikigai, once you've found your flow state and you've met all the criteria, you've decided a plan of action in your life that can incorporate your flow state into some sort of pursuit, you need to stick with it resiliently. Because here's the thing, right, is a person doesn't give up on their Ikigai. Like the Studio Ghibli guy we talked about before, you can't give up on this thing once you've found it. Because then what are you left with? You're left doing shitty things that you don't enjoy. I'm reading another book at the moment called The Magic of Thinking Big. And in there's this idea that really resonated with me, right? It said, if you tell a small person a big idea, they'll laugh at you. But if you tell a big person a big idea, they'll be interested. Because the thing is when you tell small people these ideas, right? Say you got a big idea, you want to become a book reviewer. And you tell fucking, I don't know, your mum. And she'll laugh at you and so she'll say, oh, that's fucking stupid, mate. Just go become a doctor like the rest of our family or something like that. That is a small-minded response because they don't believe it's possible. But if you go to a famous book reviewer and you say, my passion is reading, I love reading, I can never stop reading, I want to become a book reviewer, they'll say, oh, cool, you can do that. Because they believe it's possible because they've done it. The ideas that you have only seem stupid when you look at them from a mind frame of small-mindedness. Don't give up on things because people have told you they're stupid, right? Don't give up on something because someone said the market's too saturated or you'll never make any money from it. If you have a true passion for your Ikigai, you'll find success in it because that's the difference, right? You have passion. There's this famous quote in Japanese philosophy, a proverb. It says, fall 7 times and rise 8. And that's the thing you have to remember with this Ikigai, is there are going to be so many times where you're downtrodden, you feel like shit, you sit there and you say, fuck man, am I just wasting my time doing this? Am I ever actually going to achieve anything from it? But you have to rise again. You need to be resilient in this pursuit. So that's how you find your purpose. Find the things that put you into flow state, right? Explore different avenues. Try new things until you find that one thing that puts you into flow. Or maybe it's something you've already found. Maybe it's music, maybe reading, maybe video games, whatever. Find the thing that puts you into flow. And once you have, ask yourselves the questions, is this good for the world? Is it monetizable? And then go about doing that thing relentlessly. I think before we finish, actually, that last point is really crucial, right? Your Ikigai needs to have some sort of societal value, okay? You need to find a way to turn your flow state into something that gives back to society. Because realistically, if you don't, you won't ever feel a sense of fulfillment or achievement. Because here's the thing is, 80 years down the line, or 120 if you follow Ikigai, right? You're going to be sat on your deathbed and you're going to look back at everything and you're going to say, what did I do? And there are 2 men here, okay? One man sits on his deathbed and he says, I've got a car, I've got a house, and I've got some money. Cool, man. What are you going to do with that, bro? You're just about to die. And the other man, he sits there and he says, what have I done? I have used my passion for reading. I have wrote reviews. I have educated 1,000 young children. I have brought them a passion for reading and for learning that will last them a lifetime. That second man, his legacy will live on forever. This is why you need to do something that provides for your society, that gives back, that's something that the world needs. And yeah, I mean, that could be anything. Find your flow state and then create an Ikigai from it. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and a comment. You'll find those right below the subscribe button, and join the Discord. It's a great place full of people just like you who are trying to better themselves. Come on there, talk to me, talk to the other guys about your self-improvement journey, about any struggles you're going through. Talk to us about your Ikigai, about what your passion is in life and what you're trying to achieve. Anyway, see you in the next video. Manifest excellence. Goodbye.